NGOs working with Palestinians are supposed to provide vital help to the people, but Israel says they're only provoking trouble. As a result, the Israeli Interior Ministry has been withdrawing work permits for aid workers. Critics say anyone who sympathizes with Palestinians is being branded a terrorist.
They're the visitors Israel doesn't want. Activists from around the world who come here to photograph and protest Palestinian suffering.
Well, most of the NGOs only bring more fuel to the conflict, make it much more harder to solve the conflict, bring more hate to the conflict. They have kidnapped the terms human right.
Which is why, from the beginning of the year, the Israeli Ministry of Interior started withdrawing work permits from international NGOs. Oxfam, Save the Children and Médecins Sans Frontières have all been affected.
Anybody who voices a pro-Palestinian view, anybody who supports justice for Palestinians and Palestinian refugees is an enemy of Israel and quid pro quo a terrorist. I simply don't buy it, and I don't think there's evidence of it.
Some volunteers say they have no choice but to do their work illegally. Emily's origins are Palestinian, but she can't live here because she can't get a visa. For a while, she managed to evade the Israeli authorities by leaving and returning every 3 months and lying to them that she lived in Jerusalem. But they eventually cottoned on and have given her 1 month to get out.
The more visas you have on your passport, the harder it gets. And I think for me initially it was more being overwhelmed and really understanding, which borders to use, how to talk to the soldiers, what to say, what not to say.
NGO Monitor is an Israeli organization that tracks non-governmental organizations working in the area. Its staff won't speak on camera, but they haven't shied away from writing on the net. This website accuses several charities working in the West Bank and Gaza of having links with terrorist organizations. Here it says that the Palestinian Children's Welfare Fund owns a hate-filled website dedicated to the glorification of jihad and the denunciation of Israel.
There has been no evidence whatsoever and no cases that anyone's heard of people in NGOs committing any kind of violence.
The Palestinians throwing stones stones and grenades on IDF soldiers, and who's helping them? You see a blonde girl from Switzerland or I don't know where.
Adi Mormek's been in Gaza for 6 months and plans to stay 6 more. He's a volunteer with the International Solidarity Movement, which Israel claims has terrorist links. They therefore won't let him cross into the West Bank.
These are human rights groups that are credible throughout the world, and yet they are being stopped from entering many times. I mean, the UN rapporteur, Richard Falk, was stopped from entering. So this stretches up to the United Nations.
For many NGOs, the challenge remains how to draw attention to the work they do without getting kicked out of the country, while many Israelis continue to question the work they're doing in the first place. Paula Svea, RT, Israel.
Well,